A new series is upon us, guys. Team reviews. The season's done. Sebastian Vettel won. But we're going to be starting at the back with Caterham, who finished in 11th place. And we have a special guest who's going to be, for the series, it's Pit Stop Gaming HD, also known as Blakey or Ben. Hello, Ben.
Alright.
Yes, I'm fine. So, how do you think Caterham have done as generally this year?
Well, not good, to be honest. They would have really liked to have come ahead of Marussia in the constructors, but unfortunately they didn't, and they didn't get the money that they needed.
Do you think what do you think of the drivers' performances this year, Van der Garde and Peak?
Well, to be honest with you, on the majority, they've outpositioned Max Chilton in most of the races. They haven't had very many retirements. I think there's about 3 or 4 retirements. All of them from, Van der Garde on the right.
There's, I think, Van der Garde...
Peak's retired once. Yeah. Peak's retired once. So that's 6 overall. So, they've had a reliable car, and they've done alright, but, yeah.
So, who do you think's done the best this year? Van der Garde or Peak?
Peak. He's had a couple of 14th positions, which is really, really good, for a Caterham. And, definitely outperformed, his teammate.
Who's gonna be at Caterham next year?
Well, I can't really see a change for either of them.
Fair enough. So, out of the races, you think Peak's done better in the races. Van der Garde's retired 4 times this year, and Peak has only retired once. So, this is hard. I can't even remember the question then. What was I going to ask? I can't even think what I was going to ask. Why don't you just ask me a question?
Okay. Do you think Caterham will outperform Marussia next year?
Oh, that's a hard one, because Marussia are going to Ferrari engines, aren't they?
I know they're not going to Cosworth, yeah.
Well, the way I look at it is, next year, going into the turbo engines, the V6s, it's going to be anyone's game, because Caterham, the Renault engine could be good, the Ferrari engine could be good, the Mercedes engine. I don't think you will not know until it happens, but obviously, I don't think the driving force is great at Caterham. This year it hasn't been fantastic at Marussia, but I certainly think that Jules Bianchi was probably the best rookie this year from Marussia, but I think really next year it'll just be all down to the engines, because I don't think they can really do much in the Caterham and the Marussia, because I think, especially this year, they've been so similar. I think it's just your luck on the day, I think, really.
Well, which driver do you think will have from this season, which driver do you think's performed well enough to maybe get interest for other teams, maybe for the future?
As in Peak or Van der Garde?
Yep.
Well, I look at it this way. Van der Garde, he's 29-30, I think, isn't he? I think he's not young, certainly. So, realistically, he's only got 5-6 years, which is a lot, but, it's hard because in that sort of car, his best position was a 15th on 3 occasions this year, and Charles Peaks was a 14th on 3 occasions this year, so Peaks pretty much outperformed him, but, out of the two, I don't like him, but I think Charles Peak will probably be the one that moves on in the future, because he's, he's been at Caterham, he's been at Marussia. I think he's just been there really too long. So maybe one of the not big teams, but somebody might, see perhaps a little bit potential in him. Someone like I don't know, like Force India might see a bit of potential in him for next year. But Van der Garde, I think he's going to be staying at Caterham for another season because there's nowhere else he can really go. Because obviously, as I've discussed before, there's a lot more drivers this season than there are teams. So there's going to be a lot of drivers that don't get seats. But Caterham this year have performed decently. I think they were really unlucky, to be fair, to only get 11th in the constructors. Obviously, that's last, but that's only down to a 13th place finish from Bianchi. Do you think the only bad thing is Chilton at Marussia? The fact that he's done so badly believes that Caterham really should have the 10th place, but I don't really know. I think both teams have done well this year. So it's been a decent year for Caterham, but obviously they just haven't had that. I guess they just haven't had their luck at times. With finishing, etc.
Well, I think they've been more consistent than Marussia definitely this year with higher positioned finishes. Some of those may be down to other drivers retiring, but nevertheless they still get those positions. Like in Hungary, they got a 14th and a 15th. I think they were a lot more consistently getting nearer to the points than Marussia. So overall, I think Caterham, even though I said at the start I don't think they've done that well, they will be disappointed that they came 11th, but I think they should really be happy and learn from this season, to be honest.
Cool, I think we might as well end it there, because I don't think there's anything else to talk about, but how much do you rate, out of 10, how much do you rate Caterham this year?
Probably 6 or 7.
Okay then guys, so Ben's given him a 6 or 7, I'll probably give him about the same. And we'll see you probably tomorrow for the Marussia review. Goodbye.
Cool.
That's the first one.